Hey guys, a very good day to you all. In this video, we will understand what is rate of chemical reaction, and we will also see what is average rate of reaction and what is instantaneous rate of reaction. So make sure guys you all watch this video till the end so that you'll not only understand the concept but you'll also get to know the trick to find out the rate of chemical reaction. Now, we all know guys that in a chemical reaction, reactants get converted into products. Using scientific terms, guys, can I say that in a chemical reaction, reactants are consumed and products are formed. So when reactants get consumed, new products will be formed. So we all know what is a chemical reaction. But guys, the question here is, what is rate of chemical reaction? In simple words, if I tell you all, rate of chemical reaction is nothing but speed of chemical reaction. It tells us how fast the chemical reaction takes place. So guys, can I say that rate of chemical reaction is nothing but how fast your reactants are consumed and products are formed. So I hope guys you have at least got an basic idea about what is rate of chemical reaction. Now since we know what is rate of chemical reaction, but guys, how are you going to calculate a rate of reaction? Like our speed of a car has a particular value, 45 km per hour, 60 km per hour. Like that, how you can calculate the rate of the reaction? So as you can see over here, the rate of chemical reaction depends on two factors: consumption of reactants and formation of products. So while you're calculating the rate of a chemical reaction, you also need to consider two factors. That is nothing but rate of consumption of reactants and rate of formation of products. So whenever you need to calculate the rate of a reaction, first you must know what is the rate of consumption of reactants and what is the rate of formation of products, and then only you can calculate this rate of a reaction. Now why I am saying this, that you will get to know later. Okay, so as we move on this ahead in this video, I hope up till now I am clear with what I have told you. Now guys, make a note of this, that the formula of rate that we will be using in this video is nothing but change in concentration upon change in time. This is an important formula that you need to consider throughout this video. Rate is equal to nothing but change in concentration divided by change in time. Now we can also represent this as something like this by a delta sign. This triangle is nothing but a delta sign which tells us change. Okay, change in concentration divided by change in time. So throughout this video we are going to represent like this, the shortest form of this formula. Okay, now moving on guys, let us consider an equation over here for our understanding. Now in this equation, as you can see over here, A plus 3B are nothing but your reactants and this 2C is your products. So as I mentioned earlier, if you want to calculate the rate of this reaction, you first need to calculate the rate of consumption of reactants. Okay, so first of all we will calculate, let's start from this reactant, that is A. So let us calculate the rate of consumption of A. So as we all know that the formula for rate is nothing but change in concentration divided by change in time. So if you want to calculate the rate of consumption of A, the formula is nothing but change in concentration divided by change in time. Now guys, you might be wondering that why I have written a negative sign over here. The negative sign tells us that the concentration of A is going to decrease as the time increases. Why the concentration of A is going to decrease? Because A is nothing but the reactants. So as time increases, what happens is that reactants get converted into products. So when reactants get converted into products, the amount of reactants decrease. So as the amount of reactants decrease, it is obvious that the concentration is also going to decrease. Am I right? Now over here, the rate is always going to be positive. Why rate is going to be positive? Because rate is nothing but mod of this whole thing. I have not written a mod over here because if I write a mod, you all will get confused. So rate is always going to be positive. Only this delta A, that is nothing but change in concentration of A, is negative. So don't get confused. Rate is always going to be positive because rate is mod of this whole thing. Now, we have calculated the rate of consumption of A, but there is one more reactant present. So first of all, we also need to calculate the rate of consumption of B. So again, the formula is simple. That is nothing but change in concentration of B divided by time. That is nothing but change in time. Again, the concentration of B is going to decrease over the time because B is a reactant and reactants decrease as time increases because they can get converted into products. So the concentration is going to decrease. Am I right? Now, moving on. Now the second step is to find out the rate of formation of C. That is nothing but our product. So there is only one product, so you need to find out only for one formula of rate. That is nothing but rate of formation of C. That is equals to change in concentration of C divided by change in time. Now here we are going to take this change as positive only. Why positive? Because as time increases, reactants get converted into products, which means that the amount of products increases. So the change is obviously going to be positive because the concentration of products is going to increase. Now, moving on guys. Now we have found out the rate of consumption as well as we have also found out the rate of formation. Now my one simple question to you all, are these all rates same? Are these all rates same? Obviously not. These all rates will be different. Why different? Let's see that. And our main job now is to find out the relationship between these rates. Okay, so we first of all need to find out the relationship between all these rates. So let us again consider this reaction, and first of all what we are going to do is that we are going to find out the rate relation between the rate of A and rate of B. Okay, so first of all we are going to find out the relationship between rate of A and rate of B. So for that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw three columns over here. In the first column we will be having number of moles of A, and in the second column we will be having number of moles of B, and in the third column we will be having seconds. Now we are going to understand with the help of an example. Let's say after 1 second. Okay, so after 1 second, let's say 1 mole of A gets consumed. Okay, so if 1 mole of A gets consumed, how many moles of B have to get consumed? Obviously 3 moles of B will get consumed. Am I right? If 1 mole of A gets consumed, along with that 3 moles of B has to get consumed. So what if 2 moles of A get consumed? So if 2 moles of A get consumed, obviously 6 moles of B will get consumed. You can refer to the reaction. See, in the reaction it tells that if 1 mole of A gets consumed, 3 moles of B will also get consumed. And what if 2 moles of A get consumed? If 2 moles of A get consumed, then obviously 6 moles of B will get consumed. Another example, what if 4 moles of A get consumed? If 4 moles of A get consumed, then 12 moles of B will get consumed. So how you are finding the number of moles of B? By simply multiplying by 3. So if you multiply 1 by 3, you are getting 3. 2 by 3, 2 into 3, my mistake, 2 into 3, you will get 6. 4 into 3, you will get 12. So as you can see over from the reaction itself, you can see if 1 mole of A is getting consumed, 3 moles of B is getting consumed. So guys, can I say that rate of B is triple the rate of A? Am I right? Rate of B is triple the rate of A, because as you can see over here, the number of moles that are being getting consumed is 3 times the number of moles of A that are getting consumed. See, for 1 mole of A, 3 moles of B are getting consumed. For 2 moles of A, 2 into 3, 6 moles of B are getting consumed. For 4 moles of A, 4 into 3, 12 moles of B are getting consumed. So the rate of B is triple the rate of A. Am I right? So as we all know, the formula for rate, that is nothing but, okay, so before that I have converted this sentence into a geometric equation, algebraic equation. So as you can see over here, rate of B is equals to, is, for is you need to add a equal to sign, is triple 3 times the rate of A. Am I right? Now the formula for rate of B, nothing but minus B into change in concentration of B divided by change in time, is equals to 3 into rate of A, that is nothing but change in concentration of A divided by change in time. And guys, we are now going to name this relation between rate of B and rate of A as equation number 1. Okay, now we have named this equation and we are going to keep this equation for a side for next 4 to 5 minutes. Now guys, let us find out the relation between rate of A and rate of C. You can also find the relationship between rate of B and rate of C, but here I am going to consider rate of A and rate of C. It's your choice. So again, I am going to draw 3 columns, and let's say, for example, in 1 second, if 1 mole of A get consumed, then you can see from the reaction itself, 2 moles of C will be formed. Am I right? For 1 mole of A that is consumed, 2 moles of C will be formed. What if 2 moles of A get consumed? If 2 moles of A get consumed, then 4 moles of C will be formed. And how do we get this 4? By multiplying this 2 with 2. So 2 into 2 gives you 4. And why we are multiplying by 2? Because for each mole, 1 mole of A, 2 moles of C are being formed. And you all know, if 4 moles of A get consumed, then obviously 8 moles of C will be formed. So guys, can I say that the rate of C, rate of formation of C is double the rate of consumption of A? Why I am saying so? Because the number of moles of C that are being formed is double the number of moles of A that are being consumed. So let us convert this into an algebraic equation. So rate of C is, for is you have to add an equal to sign, is double. Double means what? Twice the rate of A. Am I right? Now the formula for rate of C, that is nothing but change in concentration of C divided by change in time, is equal to 2 into change rate of A, that is nothing but change in concentration of A upon change in time. So we have also got another relation. So guys, as you can see over here, I have named this equation to be 2. So guys, can I say this was my equation number 1 and this is my equation number 2. Now what I am going to do is that, look at this equation number 1. Now from this equation number 1, I am going to shift this 3 to this left hand side. Okay, I am going to shift this 3 to the left hand side. So guys, can I say I am going to get something like this. So now your equation number 1 becomes something like this. Now forget the equation number 1 and this is your revised equation, that is equation number 3. And what I am going to do is that, now from this equation number 2, I am going to shift this 2 to the left hand side. So what I am going to get? I am going to get something like this. Am I right? Now have a look at equation number 3 and equation number 4. So what you have observed over here? Observe carefully. There is a big observation over here. We observe that the right hand sides of equation number 3 and equation number 4 are same. Am I right? The right hand sides of equation number 3 and equation number 4 are same. And since the right hand sides are same, then guys, can I say that the left hand sides will also be same? So as can I say, I have just added this, I have just drawn a conclusion from equation number 3 and equation number 4. So if the right hand sides are same, then obviously the left hand sides will also be same. See, as you can see over here, the left hand side of equation number 4 is equal to the left hand side of equation number 3, and it is obviously going to be equal to the rate of A. Now what is this equation? Why have we find out this equation? Guys, this equation that we have got is nothing but the rate of reaction. So what we have done in order to find out the rate of reaction, just like we balance the equation, here we have also balanced the rates of consumption and rate of reaction. Am I right? We all know that for a chemical reaction, we balance the reaction first, the stoichiometric coefficients, and similarly like that, we have also balanced the rate of consumption and rate of formation, and from that you have got the rate of reaction. Am I right? So you have now three formulas for rate of reaction. You can either consider this one, that is nothing but change in one half into change in concentration of C divided by change in concentration of T, or you have another choice. You can even use this formula, that is nothing but rate of reaction is equals to 1 by 3 into change in concentration of B upon change in concentration of T, or you can use this formula also. So you have got three formulas of rate of reaction. Now I know that you might be thinking that just to get the formula of rate of a reaction, it takes such a long time. So obviously in your exam, your lot of time will get wasted. Am I right? So for that, I have one trick over here. So let us consider our equation. Now from this equation, I'm going to tell you within less than 2 seconds how you can find out the rate of reaction. So for that, you just need to do one thing, that is multiply the rates of all the constituents that are present, that is nothing but A, B and C, by 1 upon their stoichiometric coefficient. Now what I am saying here, what is the stoichiometric coefficient of A? Nothing but 1. So multiply the rate of A by 1 upon 1. Similarly, if you look over here, the stoichiometric coefficient of B is nothing but 3. Am I right? So you are multiplying the rate of B by 1 upon 3. And the stoichiometric coefficient of C is nothing but 2. So you are multiplying the rate of C by 1 upon 2. So if you see over here, the equation is nothing but same only. For C it is 1 upon 2, for B it is 1 upon 3, and for A it is nothing but 1 upon 1, which is nothing but 1. Now let's consider one other example with the help of which you can easily calculate the rate of reaction. For here the rate of reaction is nothing but equals to what? You all can comment in the comment box if you all have got before me. Okay, so it is going to be something like this. Rate of the reaction is nothing but equals to rate of P multiplied by 1 upon stoichiometric coefficient, 1 upon 4, is equals to rate of Q multiplied by the stoichiometric coefficient, 1 upon 2. Rate of R multiplied by the stoichiometric coefficient, 1 upon 5. And rate of S multiplied by 1 upon stoichiometric coefficient, that is nothing but 1 upon 3. So as you can see over here you are getting 4 formulas for rate of the reaction. Am I right? Here you are getting 4 formulas of rate of reaction. So it depends on how many constituents are present in a reaction, that much formula you will be getting. Now you are obviously be wondering that why I have stretched the video so long when we can just get the rate of the reaction in less than 2 seconds. So the intention behind this was you all must understand the concept. How do we get to this logic? Okay, so understanding the concept is more important than the formula. Therefore, I have explained you all properly, and I hope you all have understood what is the logic behind this. In their book, I think in some of the books they are directly given the formula of rate, but that doesn't make any sense if you are appearing for the competitive examinations. Over there, you all need to think conceptually. Okay, now we have understood the rate of the reaction. Now, what is average rate of a reaction and instantaneous rate of reaction? See, the concept for both of them is same. The rate concept is going to remain same. Only there is a slight difference that we will discuss in next 2 minutes. For average rate of the reaction, the difference is that this time delta t that we are going to consider can be any long. You can consider from 2 seconds to 5 seconds. You can consider from 1 second to 100 seconds as long as a reaction is taking place. You can consider from 1 second to 100 seconds. You can consider from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. You can consider from 50 seconds to 60 seconds. Anything that you want. This delta t can be any time interval that you want as long as your reaction is taking place. Am I right? So the formula for average rate of reaction is going to remain this same thing only. There is nothing changed inner average rate of reaction formula. Now, what is instantaneous rate of reaction? So, unlike average rate of reaction, where the time interval was as long as you want, in instantaneous rate of reaction, you want to know the rate of the reaction at particular instant, which means that let's say you want to know the rate of the reaction at 2 seconds, you want to know the rate of the reaction at, let's say, 6 seconds, any time of any instant, you want to know the reaction at that particular instant. That is known as instantaneous rate of reaction. Now, how you can find out the instantaneous rate of reaction? So for that, you will be given the graphs, two types of graph. The one graph will be rate of the concentration against the time. So over here, as I mentioned earlier, as time increases, as you can see over here, the concentration of the reactants is going to decrease, as you can see over here. And as time increases, obviously the concentration of the products is going to increase. Now let's say that you want to know the rate of the reaction at, let's say, time t1. Okay, so if you want to know the rate of the reaction at time t1, what you're going to do is that you are going to draw a tangent at this point to the graph, and with the help of this you are going to find out the rate of the reaction. So the only change in the formula is going to be that instead of delta you are now going to have d. D indicates concept of derivative. Now, as far as I know that in your syllabus, you all need not have to derivate and find out the answer. Instead, they will give you the instantaneous rate of reaction, and depending on that, they might ask you all certain different questions. Okay, so there is no need for you all to worry about this. I hope your concept of rate of reaction was clear for you all. So I hope you all like this video, and if you like this video, then please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and go check out my channel where I uploaded physics and chemistry videos. They might be helpful for you. And guys, thank you for watching this video.